There was a time when the world was so young. There had not yet been a sunrise. But even then, there was light.
Hi, I'm Megan Richards. I play the character Poppy Proudfellow.
And I'm Markella Kavanagh, and I play the character of, play the character of Nori Brandyfoot.
I am Sophia Nomvete, and I play Princess Disa.
I am Owain Arthur, and I play Prince Durin the Fourth.
I'm Morfydd Clark, and I'm playing Gladriel in The Rings of Power, and I'm chatting to Cosmo.
A lot of the scenes that we filmed were actually shot on location. So I was expecting there to be much more green screen actually and much more special effect. But we had just such an incredible set department who really built as much as they could so that we could actually react off physical sets and places, and so that really made everything so much easier and so exciting. I mean, anyway, I was literally gonna spoil something, but there's certain scenes.
Don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Hold back. There are certain scenes that, where there's just real things.
Yeah.
So first of all, obviously in New Zealand, where you just can, anywhere you go, you can be inspired by the landscape. But then also, most of our sets were built, so we were actually there. And most of our monsters were also practical, which is like great when you're acting opposite them, and then also great when you're on break and you're like seeing an orc drinking a smoothie or trying to eat a sandwich. So it was all there for us. Didn't have to imagine too much.
They would also like give us the elements and stuff. If there was wind, there'd be like huge fans. If there was fire, there'd be people in the fire department, and all of that stuff. Like it was, if there was rain, there'd be a rain machine. Like they really had every single detail covered. It was really amazing, and I hardly ever worked with a green screen, I think. It was really the
Mainly
dedication of
location.
those people, honestly stunning. Yeah.
The past is with us all. The past.
One of the accidents that I can remember is this is my kind of major TV debut. My background and career has been mainly in theatre, so there is a lot of dialogue and lingo on set that I was not kind of aware of. Apparently, one of those was action. So I did have moments in a rehearsal, an on-camera rehearsal, where I just kept walking on. When there was a gap in the silence, or people would say, okay, we're ready, let's go. That doesn't actually mean go until they say action. So I just kept walking on. We'd start again, and I found Rob and Owain kind of shoulders shaking and chuckling. And Rob turned to me and said, you just have to wait until they say action before you actually walk on. So that was my nice little learning curve. Obvious, but I would say that was accidental, just a bit keen.
Oh, I'm just constantly falling over anyway. And when you're in armour or very long dresses, fall over more than ever. I think mostly the most dangerous thing that happened to me all the time was people constantly stepping on my train and my cloak, so I was getting slightly strangled. Rob Arameo, who played Elrond, was the worst for that. He strangled me many times.
I mean, we are wearing feet, like big feet.
Big feet.
So flippers.
And working on location as well comes with weather, so rain. I fell over multiple times.
I mean, I think,
multiple times. I think we all did.
Yeah.
There were people slipping everywhere.
We had such an incredible makeup and hair department and costume department as well. And so if the rain got a bit much and then like the prosthetic ears started to kind of come off mid-scene, like I really remember that happening. In a really intense scene, like we have to be so vulnerable and so emotional, and then I see this actor just like the ear just flopping.
To move forward, or we die with it.
It was more that I wanted to make sure that it was believable that I would be able to do the stunts, in that I wanted it to be strong enough and flexible enough that when my amazing stunt double Rosie Buttons got in to do it, you could believe that my body could go into that. I it's fun when you get to do your own stunts, but also there are stunt doubles for a reason, because it's incredibly complicated, incredibly dangerous, and they are amazing. And I was really lucky with Rosie. She was a dancer previously, which was really great for me in terms of like getting into the elf kind of way of moving, because she was so elegant. So yeah, I did as much as Rosie thought I could, and then I was very happy to pass on the reins to her and watch her do her thing.
We're safe.
So we'd have like mini speakers and the battery would run out on them. But there'd be times where we'd be in the same trailer getting all this done and we'd clash with our music, wouldn't we? Do you remember when you just hated all of my music?
No, I didn't. He thought I hated all of his music. But at 2 a.m. for the call time, it's just
What music
not
was
the
that?
one. It was really dark, sometimes a bit cold. I wanted like Enya, and you were playing.
I just wanted to be woken up.
The enemy is still out there. The question now is where?
Well, I think the accent was one thing, because it was it was a bit of a nuance. It wasn't a full Irish accent, so it was like a half foot English, and our wonderful dialect coach Leith McPherson kind of created it, and half foot English with a light Irish lilt. But I think that was something that was new.
We had an incredible movement director and dialect coach, and there were so many people involved in the creativity and the kind of bringing these characters to life. So there was all this kind of groundwork that was just happening, and then suddenly when the full costume went on, the wig, the gold, the eyes, the prosthetics, the boots, which were really heavy. Thank you, Owain. That was his suggestion. Once that all had landed, I just felt like DISA had arrived.
And then we also, we had sessions with our incredible movement coach and dialect coach, who sort of helped us to build our characters' movement and their voices. But also, us, all of the Harfoots as a group, we kind of, whenever we'd get a script, we'd kind of like sit down together and read through it and just be like, just kind of feel the energy and what like immediately comes off the page, and that was really exciting.
That was really fun. Yeah, we'd have these sessions every time a new script came out. It was very fun.
Yeah.
Working with scale, I think, was something that was also I'd never experienced before, and is very a unique time.
Yeah, we had something called Scale Academy, which is where the Scale team, they had like a proper PowerPoint presentation and everything. Like they just taught us about all of the technology and how far it's come. I still don't understand it. There was so much like technological terms that I still can't get my head around. But so that was a real learning curve. Yeah.
The guys there were keen on doing what was best for us to kind of be able to keep that connection, eye contact, basically. Otherwise, you're just, acting to a tennis. There's only a certain amount of acting to a tennis ball you can do. But fortunately, we kind of avoided that a lot of the times. But the funny thing was, though, actually, if an elf would come to the Dwarven Kingdom, it'd be a really tough job for the elf, because in the way everything works, he would not have everything around him all the time. He would have to have a lot of dots on the wall as eye lines and stuff. And then if a dwarf went over to Linden, then it would be tough for the dwarf then, because I'd be smaller and I'd be looking at tapes along underneath the cameras and
It is over.
You have not seen what I've seen.
Yeah, well, the first episode, which we filmed with JA, Galadriel is traipsing across these icy mountains with a band of elves, and we were in incredibly heavy armor, climbing, fighting, and then also just trying to walk through snow in armor is challenging in itself. And that took weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, which was wonderful because we had this gang that did it, and also lots of this gang were stunties. So in terms of me kind of seeing kind of how incredibly powerful people move, I just kind of watched them the whole time.
There were a couple of scenes dotted around the series that did take quite a long time, just because there are so many elements, or like so many of us in a scene as well.
There is a really long sequence
Yeah.
that took a few days, took a week, took 2 weeks.
Took 2 weeks.
And it will probably be 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it
Yeah.
was great. It was so much fun.
It was a lot. That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
But that's all
That's
we
all we
can
can
say.
Elves have forests to protect. Dwarfs their minds.
We did lots of swimming in the sea, which was amazing. We did quite a lot of travelling around New Zealand, and then we also played a lot of Catan all together. It's a board game where you basically have to screw each other over all the time. So lots of arguments, which I think is healthy for a cast.
I am sorry, but their time has come.
The books were quite a big part of my childhood, and so it was really exciting to be able to revisit it and go, oh great, like I get to revisit this to prepare for the series, or just not even that, but just to remind myself of the context and of the lore beforehand, and that was really exciting and really surreal. And so kind of did that, and then because of the character, I found out the character that I'm playing is not a canon character, even though Harfoot's a mention. It's just that, yeah, Nori's not in the books. So then it was just really having a lot of conversations with the showrunners and with the directors, and doing rehearsals and improvisations, and doing my own preparation with character arcs and backstory and music and playlists, and really kind of building that groundwork and that foundation, and then being really fortunate to work with great actors, and do it that way, and just, I guess, continuing to evolve with the character as we filmed.
Once I'd landed on the grounds of New Zealand, I think certainly there were so many incredible scholars and source materials, and they kind of came like on a little backpack on the journey with me. And I wanted to do so much of some new uniqueness and bring something fresh, because we've got this incredible fresh new character, the first female dwarf, and so I just wanted to plough through, and I just found myself now and again looking back and drawing on some incredible information from of course the books, and from the team and scholars, and through many a coffee mornings with lovely Owain and Rob to depict all the details from the characters.
I did more exercise than I have ever done in my life, with somehow managed to wangle this job and got to be taught by the best of the best. So I had an amazing guy called Trent Bray teaching me swimming, and he represented New Zealand at the Olympics. I had the most incredible stunt team, lots of whom had been in the Lord of the Rings films and in Avatar, teaching me stunts. I went climbing every day, which was great, because I think that's also quite mindful and zen. And it was, mostly just getting strong, because Galadriel is a magical, powerful, eternal being, and so it was a lot of work to get there.
We had lots of like workshops and improvisation things with the two of us, with JA and the showrunners, sort of like very early days. We'd sort of like improvise a scene that they'd give us the premise for, but then sort of to come up with new dialogue, or just like see how it flowed between the two of us, and that was really fun. So that kind of was the beginning, I think, of sort of feeling those characters in our bones, and then kind of like moving forward with that. So that's kind of how I approached it.
Thanks for watching. Catch The Rings of Power on Prime.